You're listening to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Thank you so much for listening to the show for all these years. And I was just at a convention signing autographs in Chicago, and there's so many people who tell me how much the episodes help and the podcast, how much it helps them. And it means a lot. I never thought this journey would be about mental health, about, trying to get through things, facing adversity. And my guests opening up, they've helped people so much. They've helped me. And thank you for listening. So thanks to all my patrons for supporting the show for so many years. And if you want to continue, please do. Please write a review. If this is the first time and you're just here for John Barrowman and you never heard of me, that's cool. But look, let's make a deal. If you love the episode and you're like, subscribe, follow us, and start listening to episodes of the podcast. That would be amazing. A few things before we get into it. If you want to join Patreon, it's Patreon. Go to patreon.com/inside, right? Inside.
Mm-hmm.
It might be of you. Patreon.com/inside of you. I think it's maybe whatever. Inside of you. Patreon.com/inside of you. And join, give back. I always say this is like a streamer, it's like people pay subscriptions. Well, this is free. So if you're liking it and you want to throw something to the show, it truly helps. And there's so many great perks. I talk about it all the time, but I send boxes to people in the top tiers with a bunch of goodies and a note by me that, of course, I put the box together. I write the note. And there's so many other perks. Being on the show is a perk. You could actually be on the podcast. So take a look at that. Go to patreon.com/inside of you. And thank you. A few more other things. My Instagram is @TheMichaelRosenbaum. Go to my link tree for Cameos and all the cons I'm going to, the Smallville Cruise, Cincinnati, Liverpool. Also, Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath for your doggies. If your dog's breath is crap, smells like crap, all you do is put a capful in your dog's water in the morning, and it's odorless, tasteless. Your dog won't even know that they're having great breath as they lick their water. Lick their water? I guess they drink their water.
Lap. They lap it up.
They lap it up. The Inside of You online store has a bunch of special Smallville stuff, along with Inside of You merch, ship keys, Lexima scripts, pilot scripts autographed by me, lunch boxes signed by me and Tom, and much, much more. So check that out. The Inside of You online store. I usually have discounts. Sometimes I have discounts for those patrons or folks who want to get some stuff. And another cool thing is my book, The Talented Farter, that's on Amazon, My Real Farts. It's a sound book for kids and adults. Great birthday gift. But they're going to do a Latin version. So my book will be it would be in Spanish.
Oh, in Espanol.
Espanol, what did I say?
You said Latin.
Oh.
I thought.
Latin America.
Yeah.
It'll be in Latin
Pluribus
America.
unum.
Yeah. Not in Latin. Oh, my God. What's could you imagine?
Talentitis.
Quod nomen mihi est. I have no idea.
That's cool though.
Yeah, I'm very pumped about it. I just want to say I had an absolute blast in Chicago. It was spectacular. We had a Smallville con. It was all Smallville actors. We did Q&As and we did a Smallville Nights with me and Tom that we do at all the cons. And there were like 270 people at Smallville Nights. And it was exciting. And Ryan was there. Ryan signed his first autograph, took his first picture. Mm-hmm. And people were asking you for your autograph.
It was fun. It was cool. It was very heartwarming.
Part of my being is I have always, what makes me happy, or I have more fun when I see other people having fun. So when I see you having fun and you enjoying something, it truly, I swear to God, may I drop dead, it makes me happier.
Oh.
It does. It makes me like, I like it. If you're having fun, then I'm like, great. This is so.
And I was having fun, so thank you.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. So thank you. And look, let's dive into this. We've got a great episode. John Barrowman came on like a year or two ago, and we had to just cut the episode because he felt like he talked about too much stuff. It was too early and a lot of stuff that happened in his life. And I was like, okay, I've never had to do that before, but we just axed the episode. And then he came up to me at a con, practically in tears and so wonderful, and said, I really want to come back on and I really want to talk this time. And if you'll have me. And I said, absolutely. And so he came on and we had a wonderful conversation. And here it is. Let's get inside of John Barrowman. It's my point of view. You're listening to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. You don't take notes. Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum was not recorded in front of a live studio audience. I mean, if you're here, you'll...
Yeah, if I'm here, it helps. That's the kind of thing that bothers me, that worries me when I go to a restaurant and they take an order and then they don't write it down. They go, and maybe 50% of the time it works.
Yeah.
But the other 50, they always get something wrong. I'm not saying you're going to get something wrong.
Also, you know, when they do that, it gives me anxiety because they're like, I go, yeah, I'll have a hamburger, no bun, no tomato. And they're like, yeah. And then they go to the next person's order and it's a bunch of shit. And I'm like,
how are you remembering mine?
You're fucking this up. I'm an actor and I can't remember what I just ordered. You know what I mean? It's a little bit, little things stress me out. Things that are out of my control. Like I can't tell her to write. No, I want you to write it down.
I've come to the kind of realization, just don't worry about it. If it's wrong, tell them it's wrong. If it's right, celebrate it. But don't but don't freak out about it.
Do you think you freak out way less now that you're older?
Uh-huh.
Were you just like, were you a control freak?
I still am a control freak, but I've learned to let it not control as much.
Like, do you catch yourself?
Yes. All the time. And my husband will look at me and go, he gives me this face. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, you're controlling again. And I'm like, I know, but I'd rather be honest about it than pretend I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And if I'm honest about it, I know I'm being controlling, but I just want to it's always when I want to get something done, right, or I want to do something, or if it's not getting done quick enough and it's going to cost more money.
Right.
I'm like, can we do it this way now?
Oh, so you're good about sort of seeing into the future, how things are going to turn out.
Well, I was a time traveler, so.
Ooh, Doctor Who
There
reference.
You go. See, threw that in there. No, but I guess it's not seeing into the future. It's just, for instance, we're renovating our house in South Wales on the beach. It was meant to be done. It could have been done about a month ago, but I allowed other people to do their thing and do it. And I wasn't getting involved because I thought I'm going to let them do it. But when I went back a couple of weeks ago, I specifically had to get cabinetry. I had to get certain tiles. I had to do stuff, right? So I went in and went bop, 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 done in like 3 days. And they were all like, didn't expect to get it done that fast. And now I'm like, okay, it's taken too long. This needs to be done in a month.
And did they do it?
And this is the month.
This is the month.
This is the month.
Are you checking in with them?
No, I made the statement because the guy who's our contractor, he laughs at me and he says, he with my husband, who's the architect, and they have this kind of like relationship, which is like the buddy relationship. And I'm the bad guy.
Right.
I come in and he always says, Florian's his name. And he says, I always want to make John happy. And I'm like, okay, just get it done.
Yeah.
That's
do your job.
I don't want it to cost 10 times as much.
No, I try not to micromanage, but I have a propensity for doing that.
But it's hard.
It's really hard because I know that I know this, unless I do this, unless I say something now and then say something, it's not going to get done. Now, that being said, with Jason, my editor, I almost never I'll just say, hey, we need to cut this out of this. Done. I don't normally harass you, right? No.
But if someone's good at what they do,
exactly,
that's a big difference. If they're good at what they do and they're confident and they do it right,
then you're confident in them.
Correct. Let them do the job. And I've always said, for when I work with people or when people work for me, I've said, look, if there's a problem, you don't try to hide it. If something goes wrong, tell me. Let's sort it out. We'll fix it. I may not be happy about it, but we'll get it sorted and then we'll move forward.
Yeah.
It's when people are afraid, I don't know.
To speak up.
Yeah, to speak up and to do things.
Or it's ego. I don't want to, it wasn't my fault. This happened. I'm like, well, you know what I'm talking about? When people don't take responsibility for that kills me. When people can't admit to doing something wrong. Like, I have an agent, and this agent, I'll say, well, why wasn't this there where it was supposed to be? And they'll go, oh, well, they messed up. And they go, they do that. They forget that. I go, no.
But you were meant to read the contract.
It's never happened before. So why wasn't it in there? And immediately, well, it's like, well, I'll tell them. I'm like, no, it's you. But no, and that pisses me off. There's something about being humble. It's when someone says, you know what? That was my bad. I let that slip. I have so much more respect for them.
Yeah.
If they do it 3 times, they're fired. But now you've had an illustrious career, or you really have. I mean, you've done nonstop work. You're the kind of guy that has to work, though, don't you? Do you go crazy if you don't go work? If you were not working?
I used to. It used to be a thing where I always had to be busy. I always had to be doing something. Had to have something on the burner next to me, and so that when I was done with this, I could go to the next thing. Yes. My husband says, Scott, he says, I'm a nightmare if I'm not busy or doing something. But I've actually come to enjoy kind of sitting and watching television and having some chips.
Yeah, I have too many chips. I have a lot of popcorn every night.
Yeah, but that's okay. Popcorn's. Have you had your appendix out?
No.
Not your appendix. Is it your appendix? Yeah, appendicitis.
No, I haven't had it.
Okay, eating popcorn apparently can trigger an appendicitis.
Are you serious?
Well, so I'm told. Because the kernels...
Fuck. It's the only thing I really do. I don't have an addiction to alcohol or drugs.
The kernels get caught in the little bits and bobs, and your appendix is part of your intestine, isn't it?
Yeah, you're telling me.
It's off the side, I think.
Now I'm going to eat a lot. I've made a commitment to myself.
No, don't panic, because you're going to panic about eating popcorn now. Don't have anxiety about eating popcorn.
I mean, I use olive oil.
Oh, okay. So it'll go right through you.
All right. So working, but now you're saying you're not working as much.
Well, no, I'm still doing stuff, but it's not. Yeah, I'm not working as much as I did consistently,
and like every day going to some.
Oh, God, no, not as much. No,
because I read a lot because I know, you went through a shitstorm with everything that happened.
Yeah,
it was a shitstorm.
Yep.
We could talk about that, but like, I just feel
we'll get to that.
Well, we can talk about it now.
Can I just be upfront and say something right?
100%.
You and I sat and did this earlier.
We did.
About 2 years ago.
Yes.
When it was starting.
Yes.
And I want to say to you how grateful I was that you wanted to talk about it and you wanted to bring me in to hear my side. However, I was in a very bad place.
Yes.
And I went home from that, from us talking and doing the podcast, and I went home and I went back to Palm Springs, and I think I let it sit for maybe 24 hours, 48 hours, and I was in a very bad place.
Yes.
And I called you on the phone, and I asked you if we could scrap it, and I said, I didn't say do it. I don't know if I remember if I said we would do it again. I just said scrap it because I've said something. I said some things and I reviewed what in my head. I was angry. I was so angry, and
it came out not the way you wanted to.
Came out not the way I wanted to, but also I didn't feel I was representing the situation as it was, and also how I was and how it was affecting me. It just was, and then I saw you at a con.
You were so sweet. You came up to me and you just put your hands on my shoulder and said, hey. And you said, I'm sorry, and I know we had to scrap the podcast, but I want to come back. I'm ready. Yeah. I want to do this. Yeah. And it was beautiful.
Well, I appreciated that you did what you said you would do, 100%. Which was honor that. There's not many people that would do that.
100%. I'm not here to make someone look bad. If someone wants me to cut something out, if somebody doesn't feel comfortable, what am I getting from that?
Yeah, no, but I wasn't worried about looking bad. I was worried about, I just didn't like how I sounded. And from that point after, it's been about 2 years.
Right.
And within that, as soon as that happened, I tanked. I tanked.
Yeah, because, I'm sure if you're watching John, you could look up there. Obviously, there was some stuff, your behavior on sets in the past years ago and things that you thought were playful.
Which I talked about.
Which you talked
which
about.
I wrote about.
Which you wrote about.
Yep. And people use the word now, they're like, allegations were made. There were no allegations.
None.
It happened.
Yeah.
I'm fully transparent that I did silly things. When I was doing nude scenes, I was making myself comfortable and doing stuff. And other people were laughing and everybody was involved and joyful. And
but then one person or someone...
No one complained.
No.
No one complained. It was an article that was written about somebody else who had allegations against them, which I don't want to bring all that up.
Yeah, right.
But they mentioned a story that I had told numerous times, and they kind of, like the fish that you catch, it got bigger and bigger and bigger as people started repeating the stories, and it blew up into something that was not factually correct.
Right.
So
and people didn't care about that, whether it was factually correct.
No,
they just
didn't.
lambast.
They did.
Inside of You is brought to you by Factor. I love these guys. Look, if you're spending a fortune on delivery, like food delivery, or you're going to the grocery store and spending a ton of money and you have to actually leave the house and go to the grocery store, and then you have a bunch of stuff in the fridge that goes bad and you're tired of it and you just want a good meal and it doesn't take long and the prep's easy, Factor meals are here for you. It is so easy. These meals are made in like 2 minutes. These meals are chef-prepped, dietitian-approved meals. They make it easy to stay on track and enjoy something comforting and delicious, no matter how hectic the season gets. You know what I'm saying, Ryan?
I know what you mean.
Yeah. Fall always feels like a reset. Between back to school, busier routines, and shorter days, finding time to cook can be tough. And that's why I love Factor and why you will love Factor.
More variety, more meals. Choose from a wider selection of weekly meal options, including premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp at no extra cost.
Support your wellness goals. Enjoy even more GLP-1 friendly meals and a new Mediterranean diet option packed with protein and good-for-you fats.
Savor global flavors. For the first time, try Asian-inspired meals with bold flavors influenced by China, Thailand, and more.
From more choices to better nutrition, that's why 97% of customers say that Factor helped them live a healthier life. Feel the difference no matter your routine. Eat smart at factormeals.com/inside50off and use code inside50off to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for a year. Wow. That's code inside50off. Inside50off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for a year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Inside of You is brought to you by Wayfair. Guys, Wayfair is freaking awesome. It really is. I just got this new table, this coffee table right here in front of you that everyone compliments. Every guest that comes in goes, "Where'd you get this table?" I'm like, "Wayfair." They're like, "Come on, really?" Yes, Wayfair. They've got so much stuff. It's a one-stop shop. And when you think game day, you might not think Wayfair. But you know what? You should. Because Wayfair is the best kept secret for incredible and affordable game day finds. They've got everything. Outdoor tailgating, coolers, grills, folding chairs, patio heaters, indoor game day recliners, TV stands, coffee tables, entertainment centers, game day cooking, serveware, barware, entertainment cookware like slow cookers, decor, novelty, sports themed decor. I mean, everything. It's just endless. I love this place, Wayfair, because I'm not only getting great stuff, but I'm getting it at a fraction of the cost that if you went to other places, you just wouldn't get. And you're getting quality stuff. This table is solid.
It's a great table.
It's a great table. Look, there's something for every style in every home, no matter your space or budget.
Wayfair makes it easy to tackle your home goals with room ideas and curated collections.
Free and easy delivery, even on the big stuff. No more huge delivery fees for furniture. Get sofas, dining tables, beds, desks, and more shipped free. This table was like $150 or something. I can't even believe it. It looks like it was $1,500.
Huh?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Find all your must-haves, furniture, decor, appliances, cookware, all in one convenient place.
Wayfair is your trusted destination for all things game day, from coolers and grills to recliners and slow cookers. Shop, save, and score today at wayfair.com. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair. Every style, every home.
And all of a sudden, it was on the 3rd of May, 2021, that the article came out. And that was the day I say that my world collapsed around me. Now, I'm saying right off the bat here, I don't want your sympathy. I am not doing this to say, poor me, because I did what I did. What upsets me the most, and where I am now and able to talk about it in a kind of calm manner, the silence that happened. The silence was deafening from cast members, from friends. Literally overnight, everything turned around. People were dropping me from things left, right, and center. I do know that there was an email sent out because someone from one of the productions that I was working for contacted my agent and said, we have been told to drop him, otherwise we lose our licensing fee for merchandise and all that kind of stuff.
Unbelievable.
Not even and I'm just going to say, the BBC never came to me to ask anything.
Right.
They just literally shut it all down. Now, behavior then, you'd never behave that way now. I would never behave like that now.
Right. The world's different.
World is different. However, it's the kind of the entitlement of people who think they can bring things up that was already out in the open and change the narrative.
Right.
And destroy somebody.
That's defamation.
Well, it's defamation, but you can't say defamation again, I've talked to lawyers about it. The way things were worded by the press and things like that, you couldn't fight it, because I said I was silly. I did stuff.
You know, you look back like on not Three's Company, Mork and Mindy.
Yeah.
And Robin Williams used to run across the stage in front of everybody naked. Oh my God. It wasn't sexual. It was just ridiculous physical comedy. And it was like,
yeah, that's
and no one on set ever said, like, they're like, he's just a child. He's a child. He's like, it's not sexual. It's not making me feel uncomfortable. But again, times have changed.
Yeah.
I'm not saying right or wrong. It's just to destroy someone's career for something that, and I think what hurts you the most is, in your mind, you know exactly what you were doing and how you felt and how non-sexual it was.
Well,
so it's like being punished for something in your mind. You really didn't think you did anything wrong.
Well, that's the big thing. It might have been a little silly and stupid to do it, but what the words that they used and continue to use online that really, they upset me to a certain extent, but people can talk and they're allowed to say what they want. But when they tried to say I was a sexual predator, wrong.
That's just ridiculous.
That's wrong. When they tried to call me a pedo, wrong. There was all the different words and all the labels they tried to put on me. I did it for stupidity and for fun, to make people laugh. And even when I was doing nude scenes in the show, which were written, and I was never asked if I wanted to do them or not. And in those days, you do it because you think you'll lose your job if you don't, because there's all that thing they talk about now, power dynamic. We can talk about that in a second. But I just thought, okay, I've got to do this. And then sometimes, to save time, rather than going back to my trailer every 10 minutes between takes to put a new little socky thing on, I just said, look, just let me stand there naked. Now, maybe that was my big mistake in doing that, because comments were made by producers and by show runners and all that kind of stuff that when I was naked on set, the office cleared out and everybody came down because they knew they were going to have a laugh. And they're like, John Barrowman's naked on set. Let's all go down and watch. Now, is that right?
It doesn't.
I'm not asking you to say yay or nay.
It's rhetorical.
It's rhetorical. But what I'm saying is that there's all these, maybe the stupid things that I did were to make myself feel comfortable in that situation, to have a laugh. Now, I have firmly said always, and I'm saying it here, No one apparently when the newspapers asked the producers and all the other people who are the heads involved, they said they had no complaints. There was no complaints. So I've always said, if anybody was offended, upset, or complained, please come to me, because I will come to you personally and I will apologize to you. But no one come forward.
It's almost like, in a way, and how many years was that prior?
15 years ago,
so,
15 to 20 years ago.
So it's almost like 15 years later, you know what? He did that, and that wasn't right, and I'm going to write about that. And
that's what it was. Again, I've said this before, and I've thought about it a lot. They couldn't get me for being gay. They couldn't get me for a lot of other things. So, because you know me, I'm an open book.
Yes.
So they had to find a way to get me.
Yeah.
And this was the way that they chose to try to demolish me.
And you were clinically depressed by this.
Clinically depressed. I was suicidal. I actually, I drove out to the desert quite a few times to figure out how I was going to do it.
You really went that far?
Yes, I went that far.
Did Scott know anything?
No, I didn't tell anybody.
What is going through your mind when you're driving out to the desert and you're sitting there and you're looking at the sky and you're contemplating this?
You're not looking at the sky. You're looking at the dashboard of the car, and you've got your head in your hands, and you're thinking, how am I going to get out of this? I don't see myself coming out of this. And you're looking, you don't see what's around you. You're just focused on where you are at that moment. And I'm thinking, can I drive the car into something? Can I pull into traffic and go head on into something? Can I drive it off the edge of a cliff? Unfortunate thing, I've got a Tesla. It'll stop. That was the gag line in the back of my head. But anyway, I did that quite a few times, and then something would
click.
Well, no, I told a person this story that, and I actually said to the person, I met the person. They ordered a Cameo from me.
Oh.
And I was out there contemplating it, and the Cameo came through, and I did the Cameo because they wanted someone to help them feel better and do all this stuff. And I don't like to disappoint people. And I did the Cameo, and they met me later at a con, and they said, that Cameo you did for me in the desert, in your car, all that stuff. And I went, can I tell you something? That you ordering that Cameo pulled me out of that moment, because I was thinking about killing myself at that moment.
Oh my God.
And their face.
I can see how you're emotional now thinking about it.
Their face just dropped. And I said, so you're thanking me for doing that for you. I'm thanking you for ordering that Cameo, because I turned around after it and I went home. And I'm not saying this was the exact moment, but there was another day maybe that I came back, and having gone through it again, and I actually was hitting my head on the countertop in the kitchen, and Scott came home and he's like, what the hell are you doing? I said, I can't take it anymore. I can't. And that was when I told him I was having these moments of going out and thinking about it and thinking about killing myself, and that's the only way I could see out of it.
Wow.
And part of me, I think the group of people who continue to attack, because they still do, they're always going to, and I'm past it now. I don't read the comments. Sometimes I do, just to wind them up to answer them back now, but
because you have to.
Because you have to. But the thing that having gone through it, and that group of people, it's like they're so worried about mental health and about having their mental health be okay, and how dare you say this to me? It's ruining my mental. Well, how dare you? What gives you the entitlement to think you again can do that to destroy somebody? You're preaching about mental health, and you're destroying somebody else's. It's a vicious cycle.
It's ironic.
It's very ironic.
Yeah, man. It's because I've been there. I've had some dark moments where it's amazing how other people's perception, or like it's not. What you feel is so much bigger.
Mm.
Your mind makes it just enormous. Like this is worth taking my life. And if you really look at, because you forget, like, I mean, what are we here for? We're not here that long. Life goes by so fast. It's cliche. We know it. But
I know I'm here to entertain people and make people happy. And that was stripped away from me, and I couldn't deal with it.
Yeah.
I couldn't handle it.
But then you had a revelation, I'm sure, that you could still make people happy. And you will make people happy.
It was going to speak to somebody. It was being honest about how I felt. It was coming to terms with the situation. It was no longer dealing with anger. It was, I had to kind of flip it and understand. And I know people are thinking, going, what did you have to understand? It's none of your business what I had to understand. I had to figure it out. And for me, it was about the disappointment and the lack of support from cast members.
Compassion.
From, friends, from production, from companies that I had helped build and made a lot of money for, who literally within 24 hours just gone. And they were there laughing. They were there enjoying the fun. They were, and it was at that point when I got to that really bad dark spot, and Scott was, we were trying to figure it out. I was going to therapy. I was talking to somebody about it. But actually Scott had to call and beg some people to come out and publicly say, knock it off. And those were cast members. He had to beg them.
Wow.
To come out and say it.
Are there any cast members or any people from your past who were there?
Yes. There were, and I don't want to
you don't have to list them.
No, I'm not going to list them because I'm not here to go, meh, that kind of stuff. But it was, there were cast members, yes, who from Torchwood, from Arrow, who were right there and going, this is ridiculous. But there were also cast members from Torchwood, from Doctor Who just said nothing. And it bled into our world, our convention world, to the aspect of that I would go to conventions, and some convention promoters, again, wouldn't have me. But the people who I'd always done photo ops with, duos, signings, and all that kind of stuff, and done the panels with, all of a sudden, that whether it was their reps who were saying, don't do it with them, but they did not have the guts to stand up and say, no, this is ridiculous. We're going to have him still. So that was the disappointment. Yeah. And that's interesting because I have always been that person. If you called me anytime, even in these 2 years that we haven't really spoken, or you called me in 6 weeks and said, I need help with something, I'm there for you. I am there. And what upset me most was that people who I would have been there for at the drop of a hat were not there.
And it wasn't something like you were convicted. There were these allegations that were, people were bringing you to court. There were it was an article, right?
It was an article, yeah.
And these people are jumping on the fuck Barrowman.
Well, but also they're creating things that never happened. I know exactly what happened. I know exactly what I did. And like the other day, someone said I left Polaroids all over set of pictures of my genitals for people to see. That's an absolute lie, right? But,
It was my genital. That's why I know you're telling the truth. Inside of You is brought to you by Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money is truly amazing. Ryan is on Rocket Money. I'm on Rocket Money. It's saved him money. I mean, we talk about it all the time, but so many times you buy subscriptions and for one reason or the other, and you forget that they had a 30-day trial and now you're spending all this money. And not anymore. Rocket Money is going to save you money. This is an app that I'm telling you to get because it's just going to save you money.
Rocket Money shows you all your expenses in one place, including subscriptions you forgot about. If you see a subscription you no longer want, Rocket Money will help you cancel it.
Yeah, and their dashboard lays out all your financial picture, including bill due dates and paydays in a way that's easy to digest. You can even automatically create custom budgets based on your past spending.
If you've got a goal you'd like to save for, Rocket Money can analyze your accounts to find the best time each month to put extra money aside.
Yeah, and Rocket Money will even try to negotiate lowering your bills for you. The app automatically scans your bills to find opportunities to save and then goes to work to get you better deals. They'll even talk to customer service, thank God, so you don't have to. Get alerts if your bills increase in price, if there's unusual activity in your accounts, if you're close to going over budget, and even when you're doing a good job. Rocket Money's 5 million members have saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, with members saving up to $740 a year when they use all of the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Download the Rocket Money app and enter my show name, Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum, in the survey so they know I sent you. And don't wait. Download the Rocket Money app today and tell them you heard about them from my show. If you want to get closer to the show and help keep Inside of You going, well, head to patreon.com/Inside of You. Members enjoy a ton of cool stuff. Bonus podcast, early look at new episodes, and exclusive Q&As you can actually join. Some members can even make an appearance on the show. Isn't that cool? I've already interviewed some, and they're really fun. It's nice to talk to real folks, not just actory folks. And, you get special shout outs every week. There's tons of stuff. Your support really keeps this podcast alive. So jump in and be a part of what makes Inside of You special. Well, there's someone who has a ton of allegations in this, and they're cleared and all that. But, people would say to me, it's like, oh, my friend. And I go, I've hung out with this person many times, been on sets, this and that. I'm from my experience, I've never seen this. I've never seen this. So I'm not saying you're lying. I'm just saying that I've never seen this, and you don't know the person near as well as I do. So, it's, I think things are getting better.
They are.
Whatever happened to being kind and forgiving and letting people have second chances.
But it's not, even about that. It's a certain group of people.
Right.
It's a certain minority group of people who are creating the issue.
Yes.
Very small.
Yeah.
And they're the ones who are creating the problem. And they're the ones, again, who weren't there, who know nothing about it. I mean, I could open up and say, let me tell you what so-and-so did. Let me tell you who had an affair with who was, blah, blah, blah. And, we're talking about that whole, people come and say, well, you were the lead in the show. You had the power dynamic. People maybe didn't want to say anything. Hold on a second. Let's just rewind a little bit. The power dynamic, that is, I didn't even look at it that way.
Yeah.
Look at it that way. No, it was about silly fun. But,
yeah.
There's other aspects of that. It just reminds me of like when we were, the power dynamic thing, we would be asked to work for free at times by production. They'd come and say, can you give us an hour? Can you give us a half an hour? And, people are saying, well, why, if you did the nude scenes, why did you bother doing them? Because you felt like you had to do them because it was written in the script. Because when we were one time asked about working for an hour overtime for nothing, and I would go around the cast and the company and say, do we want to do this, guys, to finish? And everyone would, then say yes. So again, I was basically in a way being used to make that decision.
Yeah.
But I didn't see it that way as being used. I was doing it because I felt we wanted to get it done. However, there was one night where I said, because one of the cast members came to me and they said, it's my anniversary with my wife. I don't want to work. So I then said to production, no, we're not going to do it. And the next day I got cleaned for how dare you stop production.
I mean,
so there's a lot of stuff that went on that wasn't right.
Right.
That people did and it was silly or fun and blah, blah, blah. Can we just move on?
Yeah.
I'm like, can we just move on from it now?
Yeah. But do you definitely feel like it is going in a different direction? Do you feel like,
I just did a concert tour in the UK.
Great.
And the thing that I've noticed and learned, again, that minority, brush them aside. And now that it's happened, it's always going to be there. And I have to accept that, and I have to deal with that. And anything I put online, for instance, when this goes up, there's going to be comments. Of course there are. And I'm ready for that. So, and also, I'm not going to read them. I've said my piece and I've moved on, and I'm probably not going to talk about it much anymore if I'm asked or if I'm challenged by it. Then but I'm ready to speak up and push back.
Are you sorry for your behavior from the past?
But when to say I'm sorry for the behavior in the past, I didn't do it any way malicious. I didn't do it to harm anybody.
Right.
I didn't do it to make anybody feel bad.
But do you think it was wrong?
I think it was probably daft and dumb of me to do it. I wouldn't do it now.
I think that is completely understandable. I mean, I remember showing my butt going, "Hey guys, check it out. My ATM won't work with an ATM swipe."
Done it
with the crew guys.
Let me check your credit.
And I used to hang out with the crew guys. We go out for beers. JD did coke. I didn't. But it's like, you know, somebody could say he showed his ass on. And I was like, oh my God, are they going to come after me? It scared me when I read all this stuff. I just started going, my dad goes, is something going to come out? You and I go, no, I never, no, maybe.
That's the thing. I never had that thing in the back of my head that I'd done anything really wrong, that something was going to come out.
Yeah, I never thought either too. But then that comes out and you're like, wait a minute, 15 years ago, everybody was laughing. They came down to see it. I was just goofing. I was trying to be, they've seen your shows where you dress up like a woman and you do stupid things and you bring that to real life, and it's just your personality, because a lot of people who know you know you're harmless and you're, you know, so it's, you know, I wasn't there. I didn't work with you.
The one thing that I didn't want to happen, and granted, my decisions on certain things that I will do now will be different decisions. However, this whole thing of, I was one of the people in the past who was fighting for the rights so that a lot of people today are able to be their true selves. And what they're trying to take away from me is the silliness and the fun that I have in me. And I did not want that to change me. So I had to figure out a way that I could still keep that without what happened destroying who I am inside. And I think I figured it out.
That makes sense. No, it does. You have to think that your agents could call the BBC or call these productions.
No, I was dropped.
What about for auditioning for movies and shows?
No, it's very hard to get in, because what they do now is they go on Wikipedia, and Wikipedia is not controlled.
And if you have anything that pops up there, anything controversial, you're fucked.
Yes. But there are some people who are going, this is ridiculous now. They're saying, this is outrageous. We know him. We're going to see him. It's starting to come around. And you know what? I may never work as much as I did before, but what I said earlier is I decided I'm going to get back to do what I do best, and that is perform and make people happy. So I started my friend, he's more like a son to us, to Scott and I. I've known him since he was 19 when I did one of the TV shows for the BBC where we were looking for a Joseph with Andrew Lloyd Webber in London. And all these guys were trying to, you know, they're singing and they're doing their stuff and wanted the lead role. Keith Jack, who I call him Weefosh, he was 19 and there. I kind of championed him in it, but we've stayed in touch and I've kind of mentored him. He now is producing, and he came to me and he said, you need to get back on stage. And I was frightened. I was scared. I didn't know if I wanted to do it. I said, but if I do this, I got to do it on my own terms. I got to be able to talk about what I want to talk about. So we called the show Laid Bare. And I did a journey from, you know, still telling my stories, fun stuff, doing all this stuff. But then there was a point in the show where I did a recording of the song Skyscraper, going to try to tear me down. I will be rising from the ground like a skyscraper, you know? And I sang that, and in between it, I couldn't tell it without, because sometimes you can't say, you know, I use a line, sometimes it's hard to talk about something, but if you write it down, it's easier to read it. So I read it, and I read the whole thing, interjecting with the music, and I told my story and my side of what had happened. And, you know, I talked about suicide, I talked about everything, and people were stunned. Wow. So I did it. And
I love that.
Because of that, I realized after doing that show, and I'm truly grateful to Keith for doing that, because it put me back to where I knew I needed to be. The audience is still there. The fan base is still there.
Isn't that something?
And that is totally something. So for all those people who don't want to put me in a gig and put me on a show and
or
do all that, because,
or
cons or whatever, you're missing out. Because I finished that tour and immediately all the theaters in the UK came to me and said, we want him back. Can he give us a Christmas show? So I'm writing that now.
Oh my God.
And then they're also saying, can he do something in the spring and the fall of next year? So I'm doing a complete, I haven't really talked about this yet, so you're getting the scoop on it. I'm doing a show that is all musical theater stuff. So
that's where you thrive.
So that in a way is the kind of the light. There's that light at the end of the tunnel, and that light is just getting a little bit bigger and bigger. And I've just had a conversation with one of the big con companies, because I went to them because they brought me back and I was appreciative of it. And
how are the fans?
Fans are great.
They were all there.
Listen. The people who don't like me and the people who are the ones who say all the shit about me, they're never going to come and see me in a con or a show. They're not going to buy a ticket. So I'm not bothered about them anymore. They can say what they like online, but they're not going to come and see who I am, John Barrowman. They're going to bitch about me. And you can bitch all you want, because you know what I do? Delete, move forward.
Yeah.
You've got a big mouth and you're very confident, sitting in your parents' basement or the back room on a computer keyboard with your emoji as your face, because you won't show your face and what you say.
And they keep writing. Why are they?
Oh, and it's the same people all the time. It's like, why are you obsessed with me?
I don't understand. It's almost like if you don't like something, you go, this sucks. And then you move on.
Done.
So it's kind of an obsession, maybe.
Probably.
It's an obsession with you.
Probably. And that's why I said in the beginning, it's they had no other way to get me. So they're just hounding on it. But I'm moving on.
Yeah.
I'm doing the concerts. And I've also spoken with a large convention company, because I want to bring the show to the States. And what a better way to do it than attach it to a con. So like on a Friday night, I'll do, let's say Laid Bare,
right.
John Barrowman Laid Bare. And then on Saturday I'll sign and Sunday I'll sign.
You know what I kept envisioning when you were doing Laid Bare? I was thinking it would have been awesome in the middle of it, if you're kind of going through your life and whatever, just to walk out completely naked in front of the audience. No, honestly. There's nudity. You tell them there's nudity. They go see it. They're not shocked. And you're like, and then walk off stage, get back in your clothes, continue the show. Almost like this was a part of my life. I'm doing it for a laugh, and you're laughing.
Listen, you said it. I would love to hear the comments from my fan base. Would they have loved that? I somehow think they probably would have. But I
it's all in good fun.
I know, but I wasn't trying to make it sensational.
Right.
I wanted to tell the truth. I wanted to tell my story. I wanted to lay it bare on stage. Right. That was the concept. There was a picture of Scott and I that I was going to post about it. Post, to pre-show all kind of stuff to kind of generate a little bit of excitement for it. It's Scott and I by the swimming pool. We're laying on a faux fur blanket, and it's just me laying there, and I don't have a swim trunks on. Scott's sitting next to me, and then we've got Keith, ironically, in the background, pretending to be our pool boy. And but I never posted it. Maybe one day I will. Yeah,
ultimately, you're going to come out. That was
a long time ago.
But no, our personalities always shine. You have to show the world who you are. And you have for so long. And so if this kind of hindered you for a while and kind of kept you quiet and made you angry and did all this, the world still wants to see all the talents that you bring.
Yeah.
So that has to come out.
Yeah. And it's just deciding how I want to do it.
Yeah.
And I have, but I have decided. I am moving forward to do it, and that's the thing. I'm not going to, quote the song. I'm not going to go on and try to tear me down. I'm going to rise from the ground.
And what do you think? Honestly, I know that fan sent you a cameo and all that stuff, but what do you think deep down made you realize that this isn't the way? Was it wasn't the cameo necessarily, but it was just there is love out there. There is hope.
I also thought I couldn't. How can I do this to my mom and dad? How can I do this? Sorry.
No.
How can I do it to Scott? How can I do it to the people who have supported me and stood by me? How could I do it to, I have fan family.
100%.
How could I do it to them? I'm the one who stood there. I've had it. You know this.
Yeah.
You know this when you're talking to fans. They come and they say things like, it's because of you I didn't take my life because I see how you are and you motivate me and you give me strength.
Yeah.
And then I'm sitting there going,
I need
that right now, but I've done that to you. So how can I do what I've deterred you from doing?
Isn't that something? Wow. That's powerful.
That's what partly brought me to the realization, and also being able to talk about it, to not feel any shame or guilt. And, again, say what you like, but to not feel shame or guilt about talking how you feel, what you've gone through, how something has affected you. It's good to do that. I know it's there's a phrase, but it's good to talk. It's a cliche, but it is.
Yeah, it really is. Therapy, we talk about it all the time. Talking to someone objectively and just bouncing thoughts and ideas, and where do these come from? And is this a real thought? Is this, because a lot of times our thoughts aren't real. And so we think we just make things so much bigger than they are. And it's like, is it worth your life? That,
No, it's
just not.
And when I do a post now or something, because we have to be involved in social media because it's part of our gig. It's part of what we do. But I also like doing it. Mm-hmm. That's a way for me bringing people into my life that I don't get to show them, on stage or at a con or in a TV show. So I get to bring them into it. But when I, say something where there's a couple posts I put there about a suicide hotline, all that. So I don't know. It's the experience that I've had
wants to make you help people even more.
Other people. Yeah. Because I also, at that point, I actually was trying to think, should I go to a clinic? Do I need to go to book myself in somewhere to sort this out? Because do I need to take myself out of the public? The public, or the line, not just the limelight, but just out of circulation, and go away for a while and figure it out.
People do that. I did that.
Yeah, I mean, but then in thinking about it, I thought I've got the emotional support around me, and I've got people who are objective around me, and my husband is the one who'll say, "You're being stupid," or "No, I've got your back on this one." So that honesty also helps. And also, Michael, I'd say this truthfully. I went through it all, but Scott went through it all too.
He did. Oh yeah.
He went through it all.
You forget about the other, people.
I didn't think about that until after I was coming out of that light at the end of the tunnel, but he went through it all also and didn't say anything. He just he let me go to him, but he was there. He was going through it too. He watched me go through it, and he tells me now, I saw you in your pain, and I couldn't grab you. I couldn't pull you out of it.
And his pain, we forget that when you're in the moment and it's just a one-way sort of road. It's like, this is what I have to do. I feel shame. I feel embarrassment. I feel disappointment. I've let everybody down. No one could love me. No one could love this. And you just forget to just, hey, look at your rear view mirror for a second. Look at the side view. Oh, wait. There's Scott. There's my folks. There's my friends. There's my fans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
well, the analogy I use, I was the car or the truck in front dragging the trailer behind me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't on the hitch. It was the two chains attached to it. So it was going.
And how long did that go on?
2.5 years.
Oh, geez. That's a long time. Every day, and you feel it right here, don't you?
Every single
Just
day. And
right
I would go to bed.
Anxious.
Well, I'd go to bed and I would I'd fall asleep. I'd calm myself down, and I would then fall asleep for about an hour, 2 hours, and I'd wake up at 2:00 in the morning, and then I'd lay in bed and just mull over stuff and try to figure out and go through scenarios in my head of if I met this person again, how would I talk to them? And also the fact of actually seeing people and going up to them and talk. I do it now. I don't feel this way now. I did then, and during those 2 years of going up to people and talking and thinking, do you dislike me, or do you, why are you just talking to me to be nice? Do you not like me anymore? So having all that in your head is just, you got to clear it out.
It's also by proxy, if this is the right terminology, the sense that if someone feels some way about you, people who know that person then alienate themselves from you. Oh, so-and-so says this about him. I'm not talking to him anymore. Oh, they wrote an article about him. I'm not talking about him anymore. They're not even going to someone who they've known for so many years and they've liked and they love. Be careful with the word love. Love you. Because are you there? Are you going to give me the benefit of the doubt? Are you going to listen to my side of the story? Are you just going to ostracize me like everyone else? The
other phrase that I got a lot, in which and again, Scott was like, don't say anything, just let it go, was, oh my God, I didn't know that was happening to you. It was front page news. It was all over the internet.
Mm-hmm.
You're still going to cons. You know it was happening. Don't play stupid. I lost a lot of respect for people like that.
Yeah.
How easy would it have been to just stand up and say, this is ridiculous.
He's not that guy.
He's not that guy. He's not a sexual predator. He's not this. He did it stupidly. He did something dumb and fun and silly, and we all
wanted
laughed.
more people to stick up for you.
Yeah, I guess I did. That's where the anger happened at first, but now it's just I'm disappointed.
I think people were scared. People were scared.
I do realize that. Sorry, cut you off.
Go.
People were scared because they were afraid of what could happen to them.
Yeah.
Because I'm just saying bluntly, I'm no one's got a clean slate.
No one. No. Yeah, it's scary. It's scary to think that
But hopefully we're moving away from that culture.
Yeah.
Because I think the public have kind of gone, wait a minute. Why have they done this? Why have we done this?
Inside of You is brought to you by Hulu. Make every day a Disney Plus and Hulu day and get everything you love in one plan. Start your day with Monday Mayhem and watch episodes of Bob's Burgers. How about a Touchdown Tuesday with a hilarious new comedy, Chad Powers, or a Whodunit Wednesday with high potential and everyone's favorite amateur sleuths in the hit series Only Murders in the Building. Maybe you're in the mood for a thrilling Thursday. Grab some popcorn and stream huge blockbusters like Marvel Studios' Thunderbolts on Disney Plus, or get caught up with the most enthralling news on what you need to know. Gather the fam for a Flashback Friday and binge all episodes of Modern Family or Grey's Anatomy. So discover something every day on Disney Plus and Hulu. It's the movies and shows you love every day, 18 and up only. Offer valid for eligible subscribers only. Terms apply. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. We can find support in some very surprising places. The group chat, a kind stranger, our neighbor, maybe even our favorite barista. And support is fantastic. But you know what else can help? Guidance and support from a clinically trained and credentialed therapist, like the ones you find at BetterHelp. Just fill out a short questionnaire that helps identify your needs and preferences, and BetterHelp's 10-plus years of experience and industry-leading match fulfillment rate means they typically get it right the first time. BetterHelp is convenient, too, completely online. You can pause your subscription whenever you need to and switch counselors anytime at no extra cost. And I know that's a worry of a lot of people. Do I have to tell the No, you just change. It's easy. And BetterHelp makes it easy for you. Plus, BetterHelp is high trust certified and complies with GDPR standards, which means they meet some of the highest global standards for data privacy. Support is awesome. Support from a licensed therapist who gets you, that's priceless. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Find the one with BetterHelp. And our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/inside. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/inside.
Well, it's an honor. Thank you.
And inside of us is obviously, real people. We're the working class, not these actors and celebrities. These are real folks. And first of all, what got you watching inside of you?
So, basically it was, I had never really listened to podcasts or followed much with, other than YouTube videos and stuff like that. But I went through a phase of my life where I'd gotten separated, actually. And so I found all of a sudden I had a lot of free time, and I was just, when I wasn't working, I just wanted to kind of relax and enjoy content, if you will. And I had actually started with a wrestling cast from going back to my youth and hearing all the inside stories of the old days of wrestling. And I really got into that. And then I started just checking out other material, and I found yours. And it was just something while I was working, just sitting around, I could listen to it and the conversations. It was interesting people, and, really enjoyed content. And, ever since then, I've been an avid follower of the podcast.
Well, I love that. Where do you live?
I'm in London, Canada.
London, Canada. Wow.
Yeah,
I always say I
Ontario.
love Canadians. They're very even keeled. And you work?
I do. I own I own and work as a CEO for an insurance software company.
Wow.
As well as a few other businesses. Yeah.
Is it stressful?
Yeah. No, you know what? I'm very blessed. It's a company Wi-Fi 2 IQ that we started, and I've always been blessed in my career to work with great people and friends, and it's one of those things when you work with people that you enjoy around, and they're all smart people, and we get along great, and we build great things. And
I love that.
So I've just been lucky with that. So it's a great team. We meet every day. We actually just met for our daily meet. We all work from home. My wife works for the company too, so it makes
nice. That could be difficult. Working with the wife.
She's in the basement.
Well,
I stay in the office. She stays in the basement, so it works out.
Do you ever
well.
get overwhelmed with work? Like, we talk about mental health, and these are segments that hopefully respond to just normal folks that are just like working like everybody else. And is there something you do to recharge, or is there something when you're stressed that you do, or do you exercise? What is it you do to keep you going?
I should be exercising. Unfortunately, no, I don't do that yet. But I think other than work, I'm a workaholic. So I work a lot, especially late at night. And especially with having your own companies, you kind of, you got to put in the effort, as you know. But it's the downtime. I've got 4 kids, 4 boys. And I'm very, very blessed where, after the separation, I didn't get as much time with them, but now I see them almost pretty much every day. They live here. And so it's fantastic. And, we like to hang out. Like we'll have movie nights where the 6 of us just sit down and watch a movie, and we get through a movie. We're in the Bourne series right now.
Oh boy.
And, it's just fun. And we like to, we'll go out to different places. We love going to the theaters, etc. I think I told you we saw Superman 2 weeks ago. And we love doing stuff like that. So for me, it's about hanging out with them, because it's you hear this all the time. But as they've gotten older, it becomes I'm going to miss them. I start to miss the younger age. So I'm trying to enjoy as much time as I can while they're still want to be around me.
Yeah. Is there a moment that you could remember? You don't have to, but on inside of you that stuck with you or helped you in any way, that you were listening and you thought, oh, this is kind of good advice? Or was there, do you remember anything?
I know one of the ones I found interesting from a more recent one was I'm really interested to listen to Tom Welling talk about, his mindset when it came to, how he interacted with people. And, I tried to look at that from my own career perspective on how I interact with people, because, I've always been in very senior positions at companies that I've been at, even back in my like 20s and on. And, it became really mellowed out in my age in just trying to relax on how I deal with people, and how, and taking ownership around, what I'm responsible for, and making sure I just trust people, and especially from a work perspective, trust the people I work with. Like I said, I'm blessed with now where I can, but I think I went through a lot of stress with that in my past, especially with larger teams reporting into me, and times of micromanagement and stuff like that. And but yeah, so there's been lots of little moments, but a lot of it makes me reflect on just how I act and how I behave. I try to. The people that know me now, it's, wherever I go, whether it's the grocery store, and they all know me there because I smile, I say hi, I ask how they're.
You're a good guy, Kevin.
By the way, to know me.
But what's one thing you wish more people understood about mental health? I mean, is there something that, it's become sort of like, it used to be something that no one talked about, and now people are talking about it more people are more open with their feelings. My father comes from more of an old school where he doesn't talk about his feelings. He locks it up, and we know how dangerous that can be for people not to just be a little more open and just express themselves. What do you do when you're upset? What do you do when you want to get something across that's bothering you? Or, what's one thing you wish more people understood about mental health?
For me, I'll be blunt. In my earlier days, I didn't understand it. So for me, it was always, I was very much with my father and some of my grandparents, etc. It was very much suck it up and work through it.
Yeah.
And I think I inherited that kind of belief of it. With well, if you've got a problem, that's just deal with it. And until you actually start to have problems and you start to experience it. And I remember, for me, a key point that sticks in my head is separation. And you've heard that expression, having that sinking feeling. And I had one for the first time in my life where I actually felt like I was sitting in my car outside my office, and I just had a conversation with my ex, and it wasn't a positive one, and I felt like I was lowering into the ground, and I thought, oh my God, this. I have a problem right now that I need to deal with, and I don't know how. And I think the most important thing for me is, and especially with dealing with my kids now, is my immediate reaction to problems is, first, I admit I'll sometimes get very frustrated, but then I try to always kind of settle down and try to explore. With my kids right now, I talk to them all the time about, here's my issue with what just happened, let's say, but look about how you're feeling. Like, what was your issue about it?
See, that's good.
I still call them out on their crap.
But you also say, I want to hear your perspective.
My voice, right? And
listening.
It was, for me, it was, I don't think I spent enough time listening to people in the past. When they did have problems, it was kind of like, yeah, we all got problems. I get it.
Yeah.
And now it's like, you know what? There's a lot of bad times that happen to people, and we just need to support each other in whatever ways would help them feel support. And so that's more of what I try to do now. Is how can I support people? And I think in my younger days, it was, well, I support charities, this and that financially. Well, that's
that's nice. Yeah. But also, like, taking the time to sort of, what you're saying is, I think a lot of people don't do, is like, it's not necessarily it's giving people the benefit of the doubt, but also saying, hey, this is how I'm feeling right now. This is my perspective of the situation. Tell me yours, because this is how I'm feeling. And so by listening, it's almost saying, hey, I care about what you think. I care about your problem. I want to know how we could fix this, because otherwise it's just like, you just deal with your stuff and do your job, or just do your stuff and do this. And it's the very old school mentality, but it sounds like you've grown over the years. So that's great.
I like to tell. But it's I wish I had realized this a lot earlier in life. But yeah, I mean, communication obviously is the biggest step on dealing with anyone and anything. Quite frankly, it's always it opens up the conversation, and it might not always be positive. Like, there might be negatives too. At least you're having that conversation.
Yeah. Well, look, I really appreciate you coming on here and talking openly. I feel like, you've definitely grown. I could tell by someone who would never do this, would never talk about these things, or would never. And the fact that you got up here, you're brave, and it's nice to hear. And I want to say thank you again, because you supported the band, Sunspin, my band.
Of course. I love it.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that. Yeah. You're going to be a producer on the album. And I really appreciate all your support. Kevin, if you had one bit of advice to say to someone who's been in your shoes, or someone who, you could see a little bit of them in you, or you in them, what would you say? What would that one thing be?
There's two things that come to mind. One of the most important ones that I kind of learned more professionally is being able to say, I don't know, when someone asks you a question. It's okay to say no, but from a personal perspective, it's also okay to ask for help, or to let people know what's going on in your head. I think too many people are afraid of what the reaction would be. And I think these, especially from friends and family, what reaction they get if they were just more, here's what's going on in my head, and just being candid about it.
I think
not trying to,
I think that's awesome. I think that's a good step to take and it's all about listening and trying to understand each other and being kind and all that stuff. So thanks for being here.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Roden.
This is called Shit Talking with John Barrowman. These are my top tier patrons, patreon.com/inside of you. And they're just going to ask you questions, and you just answer them however you want.
First thing that comes to mind.
Okay. Flirtatious B is the person's name. Both yours and James Marsden's takes on kissing each other are different and hilarious. Did you really mess some takes up just to have him do it again and mess with him?
Yes.
Good answer.
Yes. And his girlfriend, or was it his wife at the time? So correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember if it was girlfriend or wife. At the time she was on set, and James actually came up to me one point and he's like, "Can you not kiss me so hard because your stubble is kind of it's hurting my face?" I'm like, "Okay, no problem." I'm always very conscious of that.
Right.
But I also knew the fan base, and listen, it was Spike. For me, it was Spike. It wasn't James. So I just thought it would be fun to do, to fluff a few takes and have to do it again. And his girlfriend was on set, and she's like, "This is wonderful."
Oh man. Little Lisa says, what qualities? I was always upset because on Smallville, they always cut my sex scenes. I'd work out hard for 2 weeks. I looked sort of ripped, like a tenth of Welling. And then they cut my sex scenes. And then I did a movie, Urban Legend, cut my sex scene. So I'm starting to get this image of myself, like maybe I'm not very attractive when I'm making love. So now I do it in the dark.
Best place to do it.
Little Lisa, what qualities do you value in a person? This should be easy.
Truth, honesty, loyalty,
integrity,
and humor.
All those things in Scott?
Yes.
And he's pretty hot.
Very.
He's very.
Very. I mean, he'll kill me for saying this. He's 62.
Is he?
Yeah.
I never would have thought that.
62, but he looks way younger than I do. And when we're, we're together, they're like, I'm like, "Oh, I'm 50. I'm 50.
I'm the young
I'm going to be
one.
59 this year." And they're like, "Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You look like you're 80.
No, they don't. You look great.
Listen, and the thing is, Scott's dad is 100 in January.
Wow.
His mother is 93. My dad is 93, and my mom is 91. All still here.
You have good genes, my friend.
Mine are better than Calvin's.
They are. Melissa M., were you happy with how Torchwood ended, or was there a way that you wanted it to end?
Torchwood is not really, I guess you can say the BBC don't really finish things. They leave them hanging, or they just shelf it. I was happy with what was done, because I know some people didn't like when we came to America and did it, but I was always happy that Torchwood was being made.
You love doing it.
I love playing Captain Jack Harkness. I just adore him. I adore what he stands for. If anything, he's a lot like me because he's compassionate to friends. He's funny. He's flirtatious. He's silly. He is a control freak. He gets to the point. He has a group of people around him who follow him and love him. And, he knows who he is. And that's one thing I know exactly is who I am.
Would you play him again if you had the chance?
At the drop of a hat. I would not question it. It's like when they asked me back when Jodie Whittaker was playing the doctor, literally on the phone, they said, would you come back? And I'm like, yes.
Heartbeat.
I
love that. Linda M, how do you handle life's uncertainties and challenges?
Life is not going to go the way that you are expecting all the time. However, and I've used this analogy before, look at it like we call them sleeping policemen, the humps in the road. Are you going to stop your car and panic about it and freak out about it, which I have done before? Or are you going to slow down and go over it? Or are you going to just get right over it and move on? I'm kind of the attitude now, I'm not going to slow down and take a look around. I'm just going to go foomp and move on.
Niko P, who is someone that has a lasting impact on you, has had a lasting impact on you?
That's a tough one, because I'm not ready for that question. So I'm having to think a bit. The last person who's had a lasting impact on me. Okay, one thing popped to my head, and this is going back a little while because I'm sure there are other people, but again, trying to think on my feet. There was a young person in a wheelchair who was not as mobile as everybody else. I'm not sure the correct words we use at the moment, so I'm just going to say that. And they came up to me, and it was after a show or something, or a convention. I'd done my panel, and they came up to me and they gave me a $2 bill. And I said, "Why are you giving me a $2 bill?" And they said, "Because I want to give you luck. I'm giving you luck." And I went, "Oh." And I literally took a moment and went, "Shit." And I said, "Okay, I'm taking the $2 bill. Thank you for that." And do you know what I do now? I carry $2 bills around. If I go somewhere, go to a counter, whatever, and if I feel that, I'll give a $2 bill out to people.
Really?
Yes.
Isn't that something? You're like, oh yeah, hi. What? Take a drink.
No.
Oh, you have the $2 bill?
I'm just, because I don't know if I've put it in the...
I like your fanny pack. You have a $2 bill in there.
Here.
Really?
I'm giving you luck.
Oh my God. I just read somewhere where if you have a $2 bill, it could be worth thousands.
Well, can I tell you something? If that's worth millions, I want at least 10% or 50%.
That's so nice of you.
Because I haven't checked that. But I'm
going to keep it right here.
That is, so you can keep it or you can pass it on. So I went and I got a wad of $2 bills. And when I give them to people, even if it's people that I know, they well up about it.
But you know what, John? This is my luck right here. This $2 bill is my luck.
Correct.
So I'm going to get other $2 bills to hand out luck. But if I don't want to give away my luck because this is for me. So I'm going to give other $2 bills.
That's what I did.
I love that. It's amazing how you sit there and someone who, can't walk, can't do the things that you love, they love, and they want you to have luck.
Correct.
It's just something
Correct.
else. There's a humanity.
And I wish I knew their name.
Angel? Was that the name? Angel?
Well, let's say it is.
T-Paw 12, what is your go-to comedy film show for a mood boost? What will you watch to just get you in a good mood?
Well, it's a musical, and it's Singing in the Rain. Because I love Gene Kelly, and if there was somebody that I've never really thought of myself as trying to mold myself or look like or be like somebody, but as I get older, I look back on my career in musical theater, And in the West End and on Broadway, I wanted to be very much like Gene Kelly. So I just love the silliness of that movie. It's the transition from silent films to talkies, where you have someone behind the scene because the person who's actually in front of the camera sounds like this. Oh my gosh! And the voice is not going to take, and you've got the other person behind doing the number. So yeah, the Singing in the Rain. If it was like stupid comedy, dumb things, I'd have to say, and I'm going back to the Airplane.
Oh, Airplane's so funny.
Airplane.
So funny. Joey, you ever been in a Turkish prison before? Joey, you have a dog? What's his name? Scraps? You like it when Scraps rubs up and down on your leg?
I picked a bad day I picked a bad day to stop sniffing glue.
I gotta watch that again.
And there's all those they're just it's like
nonstop.
Bum 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 bum.
Oh my gosh.
A plethora of one-liner laughs.
Striker. He just punches the woman in the face. That guy, that character. What was his name? Do you remember the actor who played the gay guy?
He passed away recently.
He did?
Yeah.
He was so good in that.
Yeah, funny.
So
I don't
funny.
know. Do I want to do that was, but again, when I was younger and
you can make a hat, you can make it.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's a gay person. Knowing that I was gay, but that was, those were the only images we had of people like that.
I didn't know Paul Lynde was gay as a kid. I thought he was just a quirky, funny guy. I didn't know what gay was when I was a kid.
Yeah. Oh my God. I can't even do Paul Lynde.
No,
Can you do his voice?
He goes, Paul, the Queen dissolved members of Parliament. Can you explain this? Well, maybe she does magic tricks. He would say, oh.
That is so good.
This has been delightful. It's just like, I'm glad you got a chance to just like, and I love how you started it out with, I don't want your sympathy. You just are telling your story.
Yeah.
This is your side of the story. And a lot of times we don't get to hear that.
Nope.
We don't get to hear how you felt, what you went through. And if you met 100%, let's say 100 crew members that you've worked with, how many people you think would be happy to see you?
100 of them. The 100% would be, because I do meet them. When I go back to Wales and I'm in Wales, I still talk to them. I still see them. And they're one of the things they say, happiest time we ever had on set.
And how many times are there actors out there that if you ask 100 crew guys, 50, 60 would say, dude's an asshole. Dude's a nightmare in set. Didn't even know our names. How many of those are there?
That would say that to me?
No. How many of those actors are out there?
There's a lot.
There's a lot.
I could tell you their names.
I know.
But I'm not going to. Because having come out of that, I don't believe in shaming people anymore.
Yeah.
Unless they're they're like doing severe harm to somebody. I just don't believe in going online or doing anything,
Yeah, no, I agree with you. This has been awesome. I'm so glad you came back. I'm so glad. I didn't think you would. It surprised me.
No, I knew I would.
I just was like, I love John. It's good to see him.
But I had to, I had to
figure it out.
I had to figure out, but I also, and again, thank you for having me back.
Of course.
Thank you for doing it the first time. But as I said to you, when I put my hands on your shoulders, I had to see you face to face to say it.
Yeah.
I couldn't send you an email.
It was so honest and so, it just was a moment that I won't forget. I walked away.
You were watching a baseball game.
Yeah. And I told my girlfriend, I said, that was the sweetest thing ever. And I told her what happened. She goes, oh man, that's really sweet. So I thank you for coming here. I adore you. I think you're super talented. I hope the world continues to get to see your talent and you just make them.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be doing stuff and one thing will lead to another, like the band The Fix said. Remember that song?
Say
one thing leads to another.
Oh, yeah.
No, that was The Fix. They also sang Saved by Zero.
I don't know Saved by Zero, but I do know.
Maybe someday Saved by Zero.
Yes. Well, there's a difference when you sing it sort of in tune as opposed to kind of like
I had to kind of get it a little
out
bit.
of tune.
Yeah. Well, I tend to be out of tune.
Dun thing needed to down. Tell me, baby, one thing leads to another.
Trying to tell me something. No, you know.
That was out of tune too. Anyway.
Yeah, but you can definitely sing.
Yeah, but
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me back. I appreciate it.
Yes. I loved having you on, John. Thanks for being so open and candid and, down to earth. And, as an interviewer, I just try to be objective and ask the questions I think are interesting. But you were so open and forthcoming, and it meant a lot to me. So thanks for coming on the podcast. Because there's always controversy. There's controversy everywhere you go, and it's nice to hear both sides. Someone like John, who's been working in the industry a long time, and hearing what he has to say, and I think that's important. Listening to each other. Sometimes in the past, I've gotten a little hell for having a certain guest on, and because beliefs are different, and I don't talk politics. I don't talk. I just try to have candid, open conversations about with people, and I do the best I can. That's all I can say.
Bummed to miss this one.
John did. It was very intriguing, I will say.
Yeah.
If you want to join patreon.com/inside of you, I'm going to read out the top tiers names. These are folks that really give back to the show, and without them, I would be here. Well, I'd be here, but I wouldn't be on the show. I wouldn't be doing the show because they truly make this show possible. So thank you. If you enjoyed it, support it. Here we go. Nancy D, Little Lisa, Yukiko, Brian H, Niko P, Rob I, Jason W, Sophie M, Raj C, LibraryJen, Stacey L, Jamal F, Janelle B, Mike, Eldon Supremo, 99 more, Santiago M, Leanne P, Kendrick F, Belinda N, Dave Hull. I miss you, Dave. I'll see you in Liverpool, I hope. Brad D, Ray Harada, Tabitha T, Tom N, Talia M, Betsy D, Rhiannon C, Michelle A, Jeremy C, Mr. M, Eugene R, Monica T, Monica T, Mel S, Eric H,
Amanda R, Kevin E, Jor L, Jammin J, Leanne J, Luna R, Jules M, Jessica B. I met Jessica B.
Yeah.
Charlene A, Frank B.
Yes.
Jen T.
Jen T,
Randy S. Claudia.
You met Jen Tochterman too. She was there.
I did.
She had glasses. You were talking to her at the end, right next to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's a doll.
I met a lot of people.
She's a doll.
And they'll all come to me at random moments.
Yes. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Who was the last one?
Rachel D.
Rachel D, Nick W, Stephanie and Evan.
Stefan.
Charlene A, Don G, Jenny B76, NG Tracy, Keith B, the lovely Heather and Greg.
Grether.
Ellie K, Ben B, Pierre C, Sultan, Dave T, Brian B, T-Paw. Yeah, Gary F, Niall M. Yes, Niall. It's Niall, not Neil. Jackie J, Ritzel Pitzel, Benjamin R, and other brother Daryl. I love you. Couldn't do the show without you. Thank you for listening. From the Hollywood Hills in Hollywood, California, I'm Michael Rosenbaum.
I'm Ryan Taylor.
Ryan Taylor is here. He's here. A little wave to the camera. We love you. And as always, be good to yourself. And we'll get through it. I'll see you next week.